Hello guys and welcome to lesson 1. Let's build this simple ornamental structure. So let's get a grid down here. Let's call it ornamental. Give it a shape and color it in. Dive inside and let's use 50 by 50 grid. And get a cluster point node. This node will place clusters, and let's get just a good amount of here, 55. Let's change the C to maybe 19, and let's get this here a little bit higher, so 150. Cool. We will get two attributes, the CD and the cluster, and just for now let's promote them. Attribute promote them both up from point to primitive, and the first is CD, so the color, and the second one will be the cluster. So just type in cluster. Let's get a maximum here. Or the color is on. Okay, let's get a maximum here and the maximum here, and I think it was point. Whoops, wrong spelling. Cluster. So now we are good. CD and cluster are on the primitives. Let's get a simple for each loop connected piece. And just get rid of the connectivity, and we will use as the input cluster. So we will get over each cluster piece. Let's have a look here. Was cluster. Yeah, that's better. So now we can iterate through each cluster here. Let's color this in white. And for now, make a simple group here. Let's get one edges, disable the base group, and include by edged and unshared edges. Now we can type $OS and get here dissolve, and then the dissolve node, and let's dissolve anything in this group, delete non-selected, and we will get one straight line here. Let's convert it also to a line, so we get rid of the polygon inside, and we will just end up with some bunch of lines. Let's also do a quick resample here, and I think that's enough. Let's get a fuse down here. To fuse some points together we don't need. Sorry guys. And let's get a group. And now to edges, and again unshared edges. The cool thing is we can blast them. So let's get a blast here. And blast these edges away. So group 1, let's get here $OS and rename it to blast underscore edges. Let's get a name in here, blast edges. Cool. Now we get this double primitives, so let's get a poly doctor, And let's get rid of them. So now we can use an for each connected piece. Colored white again, and we will go for each edge. But for each edge we only need 2 here. So let's get a resample. Let's get a maximum segments to 1. So we get something like this, so before and after. And that's enough. Let's look at duplicate point numbers. Let's get rid of them. Let's get a fuse here to fuse them together. Nice. And each primitive. That's good. And now we will end up something like this, but only with 2 points on one prim or on one polyline. And now we can use it for each primitive. So we will loop over each little primitive here. Let's color this in green maybe. And let's get a little bit of wax in here. So let's make a primitive triangle. And we will use the lerp function. And with the lerp function we can lerp, so blend between 2 positions. And let's get the positions. So let's type here lerp PTS for points. So and now get the vector. So we want to get the vector, so the position from the first point. I'll just type first equals the point function. And let's get in here input 0. So this is input 0 here. Let's make a comma. We want to get a position, so get P, and the first point will have the point number 0, so just get 0 and a comma here and a semicolon. So we got the first position. Let's get the second position, so just 1 here, and we'll type in second here. So we got these 2 points. So now we want to make a new position. So let's just copy the vector, insert it here, and call this maybe lerp pos for lerp position. And it's equal to lerp. So now we can blend between, with this function we can blend between these 2 positions. We want to blend between first and second. And we want to make a channel so we can determine the blending range between these 2 positions and call this blend. Let's make a semicolon right here. Let's activate this. Now we need to add a new point. So let's make an integer just for now, and let's call it suc equals maybe -1. And let's set a point attribute, so suc equals to then the set point attrib. Now on the input 0 again, we want to place a position here, and let's get point 0, and on the position lerp pos, so it's this position right here, lerp pos, and let's make here the statement set. And now we can blend between them. That's pretty cool. Now we can see we can blend all over them with this little slider here. So it's just like a carve node. You can use a carve node, but with wax you can do a little bit more. So that's cool. Let's get a magic. It's a copy and transform, nothing special. Let's get this to 1 here, to 0. Let's make some copies here, maybe 10. Let's move them a little bit up, and let's rotate them. So let's get something like this here, and we will get this cool ornamental structure. Let's take this a little bit higher here. Yeah, something like that, and let's use more. Let's get here the half, 18. Looks also pretty cool. Let's get a null down here and call it out. Lines. And in the next lesson we will go over some rendering.